Hi again guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a reaction video. And the channel is called Jubilee on YouTube, and basically what they do is how do I describe it? They get people from all walks of life to see if they think the same. Like, they do a few different things. So for example, the one that I'm going to be reacting to is, do all Muslims think the same? However, they also do do all black people think the same, do all white people think the same, do all men think the same, do all women think the same, and so on and so forth. And occasionally, obviously, you will have people on certain episodes going in with other ones. And another thing they also do, for example, is a show called Middle Ground. So they'll get like, flat earthers versus, well, normal people, really. And to see if they can meet in the middle on anything, and, so on and so forth. It's actually really quite interesting. So if you haven't checked out that series, please check them out. I'll post this video link in the description below, obviously, and then you can check them out, all of their videos out from there. But yeah, guys, so for this one, we're going to be reacting to, do all Muslims think the same? So yeah, without further ado, let's get started.
Hey, good humans. Welcome to another episode of Spectrum. This is Michael.
Hello.
I'm Ian, and stick around at the end. We're going to talk a little bit with you guys.
Believing men and believing women. Same level.
No, disagree. I have in the court of law, the Quran explicitly states two female witnesses carry the weight of one male, and that's why I stood over there.
I'm going to be reading out the prompts just in case you can't hear or see them in these videos down there. Okay, must be more strongly.
I wish I was there with you guys. Like, it's honestly, it just gets really hard. Like, it's just 5 times a day, and it's like spread throughout the day. We all live like young professional lives, and it gets kind of in the way. And
If I could quantify it, I'm averaging about 3 out of 5 prayers. I think I will find myself in prayer more when I'm in desperation. It's not something that's subjective. I know we should be all praying as a requirement.
I just want to say it takes a lot of guts to be honest and say that. I honestly believe that if you feel it in your heart that you have a strong relationship with God, God will have mercy on you with whatever you're dealing with, so.
And being on this line doesn't mean it's like a piece of cake to do the 5 daily prayers. It is a struggle, it's a challenge. I was working in a corporate environment where I could not comfortably find a space, so I'd have to go pray in the car or in the parking lot. So it is a challenge, but yeah.
Islam promotes violence.
Islam promotes violence.
3, 2, 1.
We're not allowed to cut down trees during war. We're not allowed to hurt children and mothers. We're not allowed to hurt our own prisoners. And when people associate terrorism, something so disgusting with Islam, it hurts me because ISIS targets Muslims more than they target anybody else.
And in the age of Google, there's no excuse. Like, if you don't know that Islam means peace, Islam means surrender, being a Muslim is one who submits their will to God, how is that violent? Like,
but at the end of the day, I feel like media is the one that has that hand and that stronghold, causing folks to be that way or think that way.
I guess I literally listened to the prompts. Does Islam promote violence? And I'm only speaking not from my personal perspective, but just from trying to understand how discussions about this religion can be used to defame it, to justify terrorism per se. When somebody says, and for the record, kill a non-believer, let's acknowledge that sentence. And if we're going to reach a conclusion and a solution with somebody who does think this way of us and our faith, we need to understand their argument thoroughly.
But
I disagree with what you just said.
Please.
I really do, because I read the Quran every day as a practice. And not once in 2019 have I yet gotten to a verse about violence. All of them about mercy of God, turn to God, God is with you. To me, that's an emotional connection.
Okay, I understand.
That is an emotional connection to my Creator.
Sure.
And I'm not going to allow anybody to take that away.
I'll take the statement that you gave, kill the non-believers. At the time of the Holy Prophet, the Muslims were in danger. They were the
Correct.
minority, right?
That's what I'm saying.
So, but it doesn't necessarily mean that because we are in danger that whenever there's a non-believer, we kill them. What non-believer refers to are like the Meccans or like the people that were actively going against Muslims and trying to harm us and stuff.
And I wanted this healthy discourse.
Yes, and
because
I
I
agree
dwell
with you.
upon that other perspective. I didn't grow up proud of those verses because I didn't understand them.
Yeah,
but
and
now that I do
several
have
times-
full understanding, I know that it's important to keep not a one-dimensional perspective, but not even accept the others, but thoroughly understand it.
Hijab should be mandatory.
Hijab should be mandatory.
2, 1.
I have strong feelings. I just feel like it's a woman's right to cover if she wants to. And to tell a woman what to do with her body is totally against our Islamic principles, so.
You know, being a guy here, I just made a really conscious decision to be like somewhat agree because people don't understand that hijab is like a concept as far as like, it's not just like the actual headscarf. Islam really promotes the idea of modesty and that's how you get closer to God. And if you feel like having a headscarf is a way for you to get closer to God, then so be it.
100% agree with that because it's not just a headscarf, it's your behavior, it's a personality, it's how you treat your friends and your neighbors. Yeah, for a lot of people, the process is build my courage, my bravery, and my confidence, and then wear the scarf. For me, it was kind of reverse. I started with the scarf because I knew that I was not going to build that bravery unless I started wearing it. Because when you put it on, you start acting different, you start acting nicer, you're kinder, because now you're representing your religion, your faith.
You make me think really deep about that because I've been struggling. I wore it when I was about 15, I tried it out. But it's been a struggle because internally I want to be a better Muslimah that I'm going to represent to society before my outer side represents Islam.
I can understand that. I have faced discrimination for my religion.
2, 1.
Though I'm not a traditional Muslim female, I don't wear the scarf. When I was younger, I'd be walking home from the masjid with my mom. She wears the hijab. This was before September 11th even happening. She would get teenagers in cars driving by, spitting on us, cursing at us. She would always say, just brush it off.
When you show that you're a Muslim in any way, people kind of, like, you get those glances every so often. But what happened was that after, like, all this, like, election things happened, it's funny, people who you grew up with, people who you knew your entire lives are kind of looking at you a little differently. You know, so that kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, wait a second, like, you know me. I didn't think this would be an issue, you know?
I personally have not experienced explicit discrimination. I conveniently can shave my beard and try to compensate almost, and it's sad to admit, but I know it's not my job to create a comfort space for another person. However, I would say that if you do guys confront it explicitly, try to think of it as an opportunity to teach as opposed to reacting with emotion.
I think it also depends on what the encounter is. Like I had a beer bottle thrown at me after 9/11. I'm not gonna go confront that person and be like, hey, let's build bridges.
Right.
Like it's not, no. But if there's someone who's got a little bit of an attitude or, you know, misconception, I'll work on that.
Women are equal to men. 3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna somewhat change mine.
Wow.
I had to think about it.
So the reason I stood on agree and not strongly agree is that my understanding of human beings is that that women and men in general have different roles. You know, men cannot bear children, women do. In Islam, there's no discriminatory thing. There's nothing that a man can do that a woman cannot.
And I don't have to prove otherwise except to cite in the Quran when Allah addresses us, believing men and believing women. Same level.
No, disagree.
I read the Quran.
Verbatim.
So you can't tell me.
This, in the court of law, the
No.
Quran explicitly states
I'm sorry.
2 female witnesses carry the weight of
that
1 male.
sister
And
in the
that's why I
Prophet
stood over
hijab,
there.
she's
I personally
obviously not
feel,
reading
and
that
if it were
Quran
up to me,
enough.
it would be 50-50. There is no discrimination on my personal bias, but
why are you standing there?
I'm acknowledging that the Quran prescribes something here, right?
No.
In Islam, we do get equal opportunities. Scientifically, no, we're not equal.
May I ask
because
a question to the
men
room?
can do things physically that we can't do.
May I ask a question to the
Women
room?
can do things that men can't do. So my question would be, what aspect are we
Sure,
discussing?
if personal belief versus Islamic belief versus societal belief, that's 3 different things. If I'm saying personally, I believe women can be greater than men. I believe women have...
Islam says that.
However, can we acknowledge one thing?
Islam promotes that completely, yeah.
You can be
You
Muslim
can be Muslim and part of the LGBT community.
community. 3, 2, 1.
This should be interesting.
It's such a broad question that I'm gonna stand here just to be on the safe side.
I'm a contradictory human being. I pray with one hand and commit sin with the other. So I'm not in a position to be able to tell somebody that they're excluded from a whole faith if perhaps their faith in God is stronger than mine.
Okay, so you can be anything and be a Muslim, but I guess the reason I'm standing here is because Islam is a lot about the progression of the human race and about what is natural and what is not. Islam doesn't necessarily support like the lifestyle of the LGBT community. However, they do support them as human beings, and that is something like
I can agree with that.
something that I've struggled with because. They have my 100% love and support. I take a bullet for anybody. I don't care what their sexual orientation is. My best friend, he's gay, and we've had these conversations before, and he's told me that, you know what, Husna, I love you for you. I love you for everything that we've been through together. I don't care what it is that you stand for, and that's, you know, it's really comforting to know that you don't have to support a lifestyle to support a human being, to love a human being, and to love people unconditionally.
I love what you said. Yeah, and that's why I'm here, because the prompt was, can you be LGBTQ and Muslim? And yes, you can be anything and Muslim. If we're going to get into the logistics of lifestyle practices and the core of scripture, yes, there are different lifestyles or things that are asked for in scripture, but there's nothing that says they are not welcome in the faith. They are not welcome in our houses of worship. They cannot pray. They cannot stand beside us. They don't fast. They are people.
It's very hard, I would say, to be a Muslim and, you know, part of the community.
I agree with you. Beautiful statement.
I am American.
I am American.
3, 2, 1.
I swear I'm not trying to make this controversial, but I somewhat disagree because I'm first Afghan. Then I would say I'm American.
So I do identify as Syrian first. And so what is America? So for me, that identity, because I grew up not feeling like a minority. And I was always proud American. I didn't talk about my Syrian heritage. I wasn't familiar with it. And then the last decade, it was like, whoa, I kind of whitewashed my history to be the proud American, to fit in. And everyone was like, if you took off your scarf, you'd be just another white girl. It's just, there's a battle. Like, I'm proud American, but it's like, what does American mean right now?
Yeah.
With everything that's happening.
As a Muslim who just happens to be black in America, I've never not known this to be my country. Because that's what this country was founded on.
That's my
Being able to be who you are, having the freedom to be that and not feel persecuted. And so, yeah, that's how I live my life. And I'm not going to let anybody force me or talk me into thinking differently.
So who wants to have coffee and continue this conversation?
Yeah, let's go to Starbucks.
I love how you always bring up another side to it. It's great. It's great.
So I have a question for you. You've directed every single episode of Spectrum. How do you go about finding out like what prompts to ask? Yeah, how do you do that justice?
A lot of research goes into these episodes. We try to meet with people from the group to help us come up with the prompts. We also ask you for some prompts.
The way to do that is you follow us on Instagram.
That's the way.
And when we ask you for prompts for certain groups, then you can contribute. Thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you around, and enjoy all the rest of the Spectrum episodes to come forever and ever and ever.
Forever! See ya.
Right. Okay, so yeah, I actually thought that was pretty interesting. The only couple of things I really have to note is like that sister in like the purple hijab, when she said like I read the Quran every day, and not once in 2019 have I ever found, obviously this is an older video, not once have I ever found any verses that talk about violence. Well, then you're either completely ignoring them, you're not reading the Quran, or you're reading it backwards, or you're just jumping around. Because there are verses in the Quran that talk about violence, that's a fact. Because they're listed as our kind of rules of engagement, if you will, the same that any country has. it's not meant to be a day-to-day to-do list. It's meant that in times, if you are attacked, you can defend yourself, as I've spoken about in other videos. So, yeah, that's what that means. So, and then what she said about, I can't really remember in the last part, about the kind of, are men and women created equal? Well, it's kind of, they're different but equal, because obviously there are, you know, things that, for example, obviously, as the other sister said, men cannot produce children. We can't. It's a biological fact. So are we biologically different? Yes, we are. So, and the fact when she said that, you know, this is my Quran, this is my relationship with God, no one can tell me any different. Well, you actually can, because you're going against certain things in the Quran, in what she said. And it's also when they said about, you know, the praying 5 times a day. And yes, don't worry, it takes a lot of guts to admit you don't pray 5 times a day, especially if you're an older Muslim, so if you're in your 20s or your 30s. And the only reason I say that is because at that point you start to get judged a little bit. But when they said, you know, we live professional lives and it just kind of gets in the way, well, what did he mean? Does he mean that praying gets in the way of his professional life, or his professional life gets in the way of his praying? However, that's the thing, is the fact that you're not supposed to base your prayers around your life. You're supposed to base your life around your prayers. Like, so if I know that, say, for example, Assad's coming up in like 5 minutes, I'm not going to go and start a movie, because I know I'm going to get distracted by the movie. So, yeah, so that's something that I feel that they kind of needed to work on. And obviously that purple hijab, she was really mean to the brother that was wearing the cast. And I did like the fact that he did speak about it from different angles. And I also agreed with what I believe it was the Syrian sister said, that, you know, yes, you should have a discourse with people depending on what their level of attitude is. Because like she said, you know, if someone threw a beer bottle at her, you're not just going to go, hey, let's be friends. No, you're going to get stuck in. So, yeah, so I completely agree with pretty much all of they said there. As for the, you know, the I am American part, obviously I didn't really react to, because even though I lived there for 12 years, I knew that I was never going to be able to get citizenship. So I've always considered myself to be, you know, English first in that respect. And before I get any hate from people saying, you should consider yourself Muslim first, I wasn't Muslim at the time. I didn't become Muslim until after I came back to the UK. So, yeah. But, and then lastly, obviously, as the part of the, like, the LGBT community, can you be Muslim? You can be gay and be Muslim, because Islam does not judge you on your thoughts, feelings, or desires, which is what determines your sexuality. It's how you determine your own. I know I'm heterosexual because I'm attracted to women, and therefore a person would know they were gay or bisexual if they're attracted to the same gender or both genders, for example. So in that sense, can you be gay and be Muslim? Yes, of course. Same as you can be, you know, black and be Muslim, or white and be Muslim, or Asian and be Muslim, and so on and so forth. But can you be part of the LGBT community and be Muslim? That's a bit different, because that obviously represents a lifestyle. And that lifestyle does go against what Islam teaches. As I've done in another reaction video I did, where the prompt was, when will it be okay to be gay and be Muslim? And the short answer is never. Same as it's like asking, when will it be okay to drink alcohol and be Muslim, or eat pork and be Muslim? It won't be okay to do both of those things, because one of them directly contradicts the other. And it's like I said in that video, if you're having a really hard time struggling between your homosexual identity and your Muslim identity, for lack of a better way of putting it, if you'll forgive the phrase, then, you know, fair enough, maybe you can choose to be gay, maybe you can't. I'll leave that entirely up to your own beliefs. You can choose to be Muslim, you know, so don't kind of try and live one way and then also live another way, and then expect the two not to conflict, because that's always going to happen in any form of life. You know, you can't be a serious drug addict and hold down a full-time job at the same time, because they're going to conflict with each other. In that same sense, I know I'm going off a bit of a tangent here, but so yes, and so to sum up, can you just happen to be gay and also be Muslim? Yes, you can. Would I have a problem praying, fasting, breaking my fast, going to Mecca with a Muslim who also happened to be gay? Absolutely not, because at the end of the day, they're still my Muslim brother or sister. So that's the way that, you know, I look at it. However, can you promote the LGBT lifestyle and be Muslim? I mean, you physically can do those things, sure. Is it right for you to do those things? No, it's not, because one directly contradicts the other at the end of the day. But yeah, guys, that's all from me to today. Let me know what you thought of my reaction. Let me know what you thought of the video. Again, if you haven't seen the Jubilee channel, please check them out. They have a lot of interesting videos on there. Not only do all Muslims think the same, like I said, do all vegans think the same, do all HIV positive people think the same. That one was interesting. And yeah, and do all Trump supporters think the same as well, which was another good one. But yeah, guys, make sure you check them out. If there's anything else you want me to react to, please let me know. You might want to message me on Instagram for the reaction request, only because a lot of the ones that I get on YouTube keep getting flagged as spam comments, and I never check my spam comments folder. I'll be honest with you, I forget. But yeah, guys, until next time, peace.